to this piano memorization series. If you want to play piano music from memory with confidence and security, you'll really appreciate this 4-part instructional series. So often, when playing from memory, we can have concerns, fears, or anxieties about memory slips and remembering the notes. But after you pursue the practice methods of my tutorial series, How to Memorize Piano Music with Confidence and Security, you'll see definite results in your pianistic memorization skills. During all the decades that I've taught piano, there's been 3 basic types of memorizing that students gravitate towards. For some students, it's natural or easiest to depend mostly on their ear, or they play depending mostly on hearing the music. This is auditory learning. Other students mostly depend on muscle memory or movement memory. And still others depend on clearly knowing the notes that they've read on the page. This is cognitive learning and can also include seeing or picturing the music in their mind, at least to a certain extent. It's important to note that none of these learning and memorization styles is better than the other. However, if you do not use all 3 equally, your memorization will not be secure, and therefore it's impossible to acquire true confidence when playing piano from memory. The goal is to not have to worry or be insecure about the notes you're playing. If you solidly know the notes, then your mind can begin to focus on how the notes are to be played, adding your own personality, expression, and dynamics to the music. Your unique, creative interpretation of the music can shine through, and your entire level of playing will greatly increase. All of this can happen when you are confident of the notes. Videos 1, 2, and 3 of this series will be directed towards the memorization and learning styles we just discussed. The 4th video will discuss one more very important issue that will provide you with added security and confidence when playing from memory. I've chosen the Rondo alla Turca by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart to demonstrate these memorization techniques because Mozart's music is very logical and symmetrical. It's also important in piano repertoire history, but please know, these exercises can be applied to any piece. The level, the style, technical pattern, genre, none of that matters at all. These memorization techniques are invaluable and apply to all piano music. Before you begin, it's very important to be absolutely clear about your phrasing, dynamics, and especially your fingering. For instance, you don't want to memorize one fingering during the exercise and then realize that you use a different fingering when actually playing the piece. Using 2 different fingerings will only confuse your mind and your ability to accurately memorize. Additionally, it's necessary to always remember that when playing from memory or performing, you never ever stop playing because of a mistake or a memory slip, and you never ever go back and repeat a section to correct a mistake or memory slip. You must always do your very best to press forward. Don't let your facial expression or body language show that you've made a mistake. Your listeners will never know that you made a mistake if you simply keep playing and press forward. Please understand that mistakes are going to happen. It's how you handle the mistake that matters. To solidly memorize, the hands need to be able to play independently of each other. For instance, if one hand has a mistake or a memory slip, what happens if the other hand is depending on the hand that just had the memory slip? Chances are that both hands will then have to stop or at the very least be struggling just to keep going. Each hand must absolutely be able to play without the need to depend on the other. If one hand has a slip, the other hand can continue playing, and the struggling hand can join back in and begin playing again. I call this practice method The hands alone from memory exercise. The final goal is to play the entire piece, hands alone, from the beginning of the piece to the end, from memory. We'll only focus on the first 8 measures of the Rondo alla Turca, but this must be applied to the entire piece. Begin with the right hand, rather slow. At first, choose a very small segment to work on. With this piece, I suggest 4 measures, plus it's important to play one note over the bar line. Be sure your phrasing, dynamics, and especially your fingering are all accurate. Play these first 4 measures, and we'll include the upbeat here just to get started, plus one note over the bar line, reading the music. And if necessary, you'll want to do this more than one time. This is looking at the music, 4 measures, and then one note over the bar line. Then play the same segment from memory, if necessary more than one time. And as you're playing, it's important to hear the left-hand notes in your mind. If you make a mistake, go back and play it again, looking at the music. You'll want to successfully play this small segment from memory, if necessary, more than one time. So here we go from memory. Hear the left-hand notes in your mind. Next, continue in the same manner with measures 5 through 8. 4 more measures, plus one note over the bar line. Don't be confused by the repeat sign that is in the middle of measure 8. Starting at measure 5, now we'll play with the right hand measures 5 through 8, plus one note over the bar line from memory. Again, hearing the left hand in your mind. Then play the entire 8 measures from memory, right hand alone. This is from memory. Now, if it's needed, play these 8 measures looking at the music first, and then from memory. Since we finished that section with the right hand, now we'll focus on the left hand. Be sure that your phrasing, dynamics, and fingering are all accurate. Play the first 4 measures plus one note over the bar line looking at the music. And if necessary, do this more than one time. So this is looking at the music. Then play these same 4 measures plus one note over the bar line from memory. As you're playing, it's important to hear the right-hand notes in your mind. If you make a mistake, go back and play it again, looking at the music. You'll want to play these 4 measures plus one note successfully from memory, if necessary, more than one time. Now the left hand will play measures 5 through 8 plus one note over the bar line using the exact same techniques. Starting in measure 5, looking, and now from memory. Remember to be hearing the right-hand notes in your mind as you're playing. Starting at measure 5, play the entire 8 measures from memory with the left hand alone. You'll want to successfully play these 8 measures from memory. If needed, play this looking at the music first. Also, if necessary, do this more than one time. Remember to hear the right hand notes in your mind. You've just done some great concentrated memory work. Now you're ready to move on to the next section where you'll continue with the exact same process, 4 measures at a time. As I said previously, your final goal is to comfortably be able to play from the beginning of the piece to the end, hands alone from memory, with the correct phrasing, dynamics, and especially fingering. You'll be pleased with the amazing results. Teaching your hands to play independently of one another is vitally important. It's the first step to achieve confidence and security when playing piano music from memory. Once you've completed this step, we'll move forward with the next tutorial, How to Memorize Piano Music with Confidence and Security, number 2. Thank you for watching. And be sure to subscribe so that you receive the latest teaching, playing, and performance videos.